Greetings from Idaho. Today we are in the Craters of the Moon National Monument and Preserve, where just up ahead, where just off in the distance, you'll see a few hills. These hills are actually old volcanoes that formed many thousands of years ago, when the continental drift kept expanding and allowed magma to rise up to the surface and then form these kind of mini volcanoes that then spread lava all throughout this terrain over here, and has created very unique fields of just black rock and really unique kind of formations on the ground. I have some drone footage, I'll show that here, where yeah, it does look like the surface of the moon. It looks kind of like an inhospitable landscape, contrasted to, you know, the green hills and farmland of Idaho that's well known for it. So we're gonna check this place out, learn a bit more about how these hills and volcanoes and how this landscape came to be, and sort of explore. So come along.
Across Idaho, the plain marks the path of a series of volcanic eruptions that have taken place over millions of years. The first eruption on the Snake River Plain, about 16 million years ago, occurred near the Idaho-Oregon border. The cause is believed to have been a hot spot that melted deep crustal rock, creating a thick magma called rhyolite. As the rhyolite explosively erupted, it literally blew holes called calderas in the Earth's crust. At the same time, the crust of the Earth in this area was moving forward at the same rate as your fingernails grow, about 2 inches per year. Riding on slowly migrating rock deep within the Earth's mantle, this massive plate moved to the southwest and over the stationary hotspot. As a result, the bottom of the moving plate was repeatedly heated, causing a long sequence of eruptions which formed a string of calderas across southern Idaho. These explosive rhyolitic eruptions were followed by less violent volcanic activity that produced lava, known as basalt, produced by heat remaining as the Earth's crust moved away from the hotspot. Basalt erupted as molten lava flows that covered the land in thin sheets. These flows buried the calderas under a frosting of black rock. At Craters of the Moon, Calderas that formed 6 million years ago are now totally buried by basaltic flows. The most recent basalt eruptions took place just 2,000 years ago. Originating from a weakened zone in the Earth's crust, known as the Great Rift, fiery fountains shot cinders high into the air, forming cinder cones. Liquid rock poured from the cracks to create dozens of lava flows you can see here today. The chain of calderas continued to grow as the Earth's crust was pulverized by catastrophic blasts. The last caldera formed 600,000 years ago in what is now Yellowstone National Park, the current location of the hotspot. Will we see more volcanic activity in the future? Geologists predict that the cyclic pattern of eruptions will continue.
Okay, start over.
So we are now officially inside the park. Yeah, check it out. This all was volcanic dried lava. This place is well connected with the tectonic plate movements and the geothermal activity that form the Tetons that affects Yellowstone and the caldera and volcanoes there. This national monument has a lot of history. I mean, check out those fields over there. Essentially, long story short, because this is all very complicated stuff and I'm not a geologist. Whoa, point it better. Long story short, from what I understand, you know, the kind of like you can think of it as the eastern half of the country and the western half of the country. They're kind of overlapping tectonic plates. The east side is kind of moving into the west underneath, kind of like a layered sandwich, if you will. That same layering of the tectonic plates is what caused like the dramatic, spiky, steep surfaces of the Grand Tetons, and that same plate movement, that friction from the two plates colliding, caused a lot of this area here in southern Idaho to really heat up and then cause the ground really to crack and then unleash all of this magma that then turns into lava once it reaches the surface. And that lava reaching the surface causes all these mounds and like craters and hills you see here, and then those hills spawn and spew lava in different ways. The lava also kind of dries on the surface but then stays liquid in the bottom, and then once that's done flowing, that's what forms caves. So this place has tons of cave systems now inhabited by tons of bats. There's a whole ecological system here. There's coyotes, there's birds, there's all types of animals and trees and plants that have made home here in this kind of very alien environment. It really does feel like you are in the surface of a alien planet. Yeah, very dramatic and porous type of rock formations, like that one up there you see up there, and over here on the left there's some interesting outcroppings over there. Let me see if I can show you. So yeah, you have all types of interesting stuff, interesting rock formations. So we're gonna now go up to find a place to park and take a closer look at these things. So we are here in the Inferno Cone. This was once something like this. A cone shaped by the lava of the many geological activity that would occur here. We still got some snow up on the mountains. Check it out. So it's very windy here, but volcanic rock is surprisingly very brittle and very porous as well. This is very light, and you can see all the little pores there, because lava is very gassy, and those gases create these like little tunnels and shapes you see. And in fact, a lot of southern Idaho is kind of like this underground. It's very porous volcanic rock, and the Snake River, which flows through all the southern edge of the state, easily flows through the bedrock and the ground underneath, and that water that easily flows through rocks like this, plus the minerals of the volcanoes here, is what contributes to the agricultural productivity of Idaho, and why so many potatoes and other fruits and vegetables are grown here. So yeah, it looks like an alien landscape, and definitely kind of like the moon. These are all volcanic rocks. It's almost kind of ashy. You could easily grind it into dust. Alright, so onwards we go. And on top of this big volcano, or cinder cone rather, is life. This is almost like an island. It's incredibly windy. I apologize if it's hard to hear. It's very windy here today, but yeah, life persists through adversity despite the landscape. You have a whole tree over here growing on top of the cinder cone, and sagebrush and other vegetation. Over the thousands of years, vegetation has reclaimed this land, despite at one point being basically a massive lava field. Over there you got the mountains in the distance, and this beautiful tree growing on top of a cinder cone. Unbelievable. Spewing machine. Yeah. If you think Idaho is a just a boring rural state that where they just grow potatoes, think again. This is all very extreme land, very dynamic land. Ever changing. You have all types of life springing from this, how shiny this rock is. It feels almost like aluminum foil with like how kind of brittle and light it is. Then you also have these interesting red rocks, these silvery rocks, and then plants and flowers even, and trees.
Yeah.
Life is very persistent. So we're gonna take a quick, a slightly shorter little peek here. We can't get too deep in here, but because this rock is surprisingly not as solid as you might think. It's very brittle, very light. But yeah, look at all this. This was all once hot lava that is spewed out of these cones, sprayed out. All these cones you see here would spray all this out over here. And even amongst all these, you have vegetation growing. Nature finds a way.
Tell from the video the colors of this landscape here, because essentially it's all black because of the volcanic rocks, and then green because of all the herbs, like the vegetation basically growing from the ground as well, like right here from all the rock. It's basically volcanic rock and green, just like vegetation. It's like sagebrush and like other types of plants. I don't know the names of them at the moment, but it's really cool because essentially it's this contrast of like shiny black from the rock and like this really nice like sage green that turns into like forest green and like just shades of green, and it's just like really beautiful because these are not colors that I'm used to seeing. Like I'm not used to seeing black and then like these beautiful shades of green together. So it's
not
just
natural.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just like really pretty because it's basically these two colors that are consistent, like just all around. Yeah, so just adding that in here. See, that's the black and green. Well, here, right here next to the road, there's some brown, but back there, you see the black, rocks. You can see the contrast with the brown because obviously here it looks more reddish brown, and over there it's not. So that's what I meant by the contrast and the beautiful, like, just imagery it creates. And then over there, I don't know if you can see in the distance, there's snow-capped mountains against these green hills. So it's just so picturesque. Everything is alive.
we're back. So apologies if it was extremely windy up there and you couldn't hear us. Yeah, that's one of the cons of being literally on top of a mini volcano. But we're back here now after just having descended. Very fascinating. The floor is littered with these like prismatic colored black, very light rocks. There's tons of life up there and all around. The formations and stuff are very fascinating. Yeah, this is just an incredible place. I think, like I said up there, if you think Idaho is a boring potato farm, think again. There's so many extreme geological and environmental wonders here that maybe you've never even heard about.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know what to expect about regarding Idaho, because I didn't really know anything about it aside from Idaho potatoes, but it's actually really impressed me. Like this state, it's like, wow, we're sleeping on Idaho. It's really cool, and it's really beautiful too. Just driving through the state, it's just very scenic.
That's literally the license plate.
Yeah,
Scenic Idaho.
Literally, it says Scenic Idaho and then famous potatoes. That's what the license plate here says, and it's like super accurate. So it's really cool coming here. Yeah, so far one of the top states that we've visited, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Likewise.
All right. So now we're actually gonna head to the Potato Museum. So
like 30 minutes outside of Idaho Falls.
Yes. So we're excited to see that. And yeah, we're gonna capture some videos there as well. But yeah, this place, Craters of the Moon, really cool, like really beautiful. Recommend it if you do come to Idaho, which again, I recommend you do come to Idaho, because it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna head there next, and after the Potato Museum video, if we do make that, indeed, you'll see us in Utah. We'll be checking out the Arches, Zion, and maybe the Canyonlands National Parks. So we'll see you there.
Yeah. All right. Stay tuned.
Till next time.